What's going on, everyone? We are here with another wrestling rant. So, weekly rundown of the wrestling I consumed over the past week as we prepare for the next week in exciting pro wrestling action. So, we're going to be talking about last week's Monday Night Raw, NXT, Dynamite, SmackDown, Summer Rampage, and Collision. So let's get right to it. So Monday Night Raw. Biggest takeaway was, hey, Jimmy was there. He was trying to get Jay. Jay had his match. Jay won his match. Jay said no. I figured as much. I figured Jay was going to say no off that. That ain't even surprising. Everything else that happened, I know that Jay and Braun Breaker, they got their match coming up this Monday night. I seriously think the Bloodline's going to call Jay his title, especially after he showed up on Friday Night SmackDown. So, yeah, I think Jay going to lose, and that's going to be his way back in with the Bloodline. Everything else that happened on Raw, Seth is back. He challenged Big Bronson Reed, so I'm pretty sure they're going to have their showdown. Then we got Gunther and Cody. They're getting ready for their match at Crown Jewel in about 2 weeks. So see what that build up is, like, determines who's gonna be the best. Damian Priest still going after Judgment Day. We got Liv and Rhea still doing their thing with Raquel in there now. So now that's to give a chance to wait for Liv to break off the her feud with Rhea and let Rhea and Raquel work on their thing, because they're two of the biggest women there, so why not let them have it out for now? So that was pretty much it for Raw. Not the matches were the matches. Nothing too spectacular. Nothing to write home about either. But nothing that was just abysmal. Just the match were the matches. So yeah, biggest thing is Jay had his match. He won. Now he's gonna have a rematch with Braun Breaker next. This coming up Monday. So now we move on to NXT on the CW. I put it on, ready to go. All I can say is this: I don't know much of what happened on there. I kind of zoned out on the show. That was until Lola Vice and Nikita Lyons had their match. Then we had a run-in by Jada Parker. That's all I'm going to say about that, because I don't remember that match at all. I don't remember it all. But I do remember that they had a match there, and that was it. Next, we got Dynamite. Oh, Lord, Dynamite. What is happening in AEW right now? We got the show starting off with a Moxley promo. He's talking riddle me this. He's talking riddle me that, and speaking like I don't know what he's talking about. I mean, the people in the stable just aren't it. I mean, you got Wheeler Yuta. Who is he to intimidate anyone? I mean, come on. The guy's like 108 pounds soaking wet. I don't get what they're doing. Mercedes is just awful. Her little crossface, or whatever her submission move they call it, she doesn't even trap the arm. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, it's embarrassing to have to watch the ladies have to tap to it. I'm like, you can tell it's not even doing anything. It's not even, the hole isn't even cinched in, and they got to tap to it. I'm like, this is awful. Just awful. I mean, good Lord. Then on top of that nonsense, you got the EVPs and the BBC. I know they had something like years ago. This ain't it now. There is the Young Bucks and Jack Perry. Well, Jack Perry is just the worst. I mean, he is not intimidating at all. The fact that he tried to go nose to nose. I mean, he in the back with going nose to nose with Danny Garcia. What is that? I mean, you got Jack Perry nose to nose. Like, he's... I mean, he went nose to nose with Danny Garcia. I mean, they both about the same size, but it just looks hilarious. It looks like a kid fight. Looks like a bunch of middle schoolers or high schoolers or young high schoolers getting ready to fight. And I just find it hilarious. Like, there's no way they can be serious about this. And then they try to give a big rah-rah speech like, you're going to let them take over the company, blah, 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 blah. They're out there beating up people that nobody cares about, and they're getting beat up by people no one cares about. Moxley is just awful. And Claudio, no one. He's just getting lost in the shuffle. It's just bad. It's really, really bad. And that was Dynamite. It was aggravating to watch. It was aggravating to watch because in the midst of all that, you're trying to figure out as a wrestling fan, you want to give it an opportunity. You want to say, hey, where are they going to go with this? And then you realize, they don't know what they're doing, and it's just confusing now. There's so many factions, so many heel groups. Everyone's a heel, but no one's a face. Everyone wants the crowd to cheer like their face, but they want to do heel antics. It doesn't work. It just does not work at all. That was Dynamite. Now let's move on to SmackDown, where, Lash Legend got her win. She beat Piper Niven. I was surprised that Piper put her over. I was very surprised by that, but I'm glad she did, and I'm glad to give it a chance. Younger talent to showcase. That stood out to me in SmackDown. Then of course, OTC came out, Tribal Chief. They beat up Jimmy, drew up Jimmy out, they roughed him up, and then they put the beat down on Roman. I'm like, man, not used to seeing Roman get beat up like that. It's like second week in a row he's gotten beat up by the New Bloodline. I'm like, man, but I did like the part where he said, he's like, no, it's not good enough. He told me that when Solo told him that you gotta acknowledge when you're Tribal Chief, or else what? I'm like, yeah, that's right. That's right. He ain't a full-fledged babyface like that. So that was it. And then, Motor City Machine Guns, they debuted on SmackDown. They looked okay. They were a lot smaller than the rest of the teams, and I want the Street Profits to win. I do. I really want the Street Profits to win. And DIY, they're a good team. They're a real good team. They are just not hitting with the crowd, though. You can tell they come out, the crowd's like, who? And when the Motor City Machine Guns came out, they were like, who? Everyone just knew who the Profits were. So I hope DIY find, it starts to click with the crowd for them. Same with the Motor City Machine Guns. I hope it hits for them too. Profits, I just want better for them. I really do, man. I want them to do well. I really think Montez will do great from a heel turn. I think Dawkins would too. I really think they'll do good with turning heel. But we'll see what happens. But that was all in all SmackDown. Bloodline beat up Roman. That was primary takeaway. Bloodline beat up Roman. Then we got, Collision. Yes, I was able to watch some of Collision. Now, to AEW's credit, I will say this. They are trying to tie the shows together. Trying to have segments from Collision linking with Dynamite. They did more of the BCC stuff. Then they had, the trios champions do a nonsense match where they did a whole bunch of running European uppercuts to a guy in the corner. I'm like, this is just repetitive and stupid looking. And then, the usual nonsense at Collision where the girls fight for... I can say this, though. The matches were not all 20 minutes, which was good. So Jamie Hayter, she got a win. I just hope something happens with it. They're just like, hey, she got a win, and then she just vanishes for like 6 months or something. I just hope that AEW can get it together. Like, really? Because, my goodness, the stuff with Moxley, anything Jericho related, anything Young Bucks related, just scrap it and start over. Because, good grief. And all in all, Collision wasn't terrible. The matches were short and sweet, which was phenomenal. That was absolutely perfect. And yeah, look. Oh, also I know Shelton Benjamin, he debuted on Dynamite. He debuted match on Dynamite this past Wednesday against Leo Rush, somebody who's half his size. He got to, throw around and stuff like it was ragdoll, which he should have, because Shelton way bigger than him. But Shelton also has a match next week on this coming up Dynamite too. So with Sammy Guevara. So let's see how that goes, because Sammy's another one of these small guys like try to fly all over the place. I wonder if Sheldon will have to ground him and give him a wrestling lesson. I hope he does. But my weekend wrestling, I give it out of A to F critique. I want to give it just a solid B. It was good. Nothing to ride home about too much. The AEW stuff, I can look at it. I look at AEW in a vacuum. I really do. I look at it like, okay, this is what this program is for this time period. I try to find things that are congruent with it, but that's few and far between, because not a whole lot of stuff makes sense, which is why I'm utterly confused. But try to just keep it in congruent, keep up with congruent storylines and who's feuding with who and why. It's been challenging for AEW for me. So all in all, I say this past week in wrestling was a B. I give it a B. Good entertainment. Nothing like, man, I can't wait, that to watch that again, or to watch that match again, or watch that person perform again. None of that. Not gonna lie, none of that this past week. But it was still a decent week for wrestling. So let me know what your good, what your bad, what your ugly was for the wrestling you watched this past week. Stay tuned, y'all. We got more to come.